Yeah, there you go. Really feel it in your back. Hey, what? Pause. I don't want to feel anything in my back. Really just arch it. Hey, yo, pause, man. Really feel it inside you. Damn, what the? Andre, I'm sorry. It's just not working for you right now. You've got to loosen up a little bit. Now, when I had this problem, I used an app on my phone that got me to do stretches at random times during the day. So try that. Stretch it out. Fam, are you taking the piss?
Така статистика. Подача до штрафного майданчика.
Yo, that was a difficult set piece to deal with. I sure hope nothing else gets in the way. I've got to do Pilates right now.
Бичик перед воротами Аняк Босо. Чи буде добивання? М'яч у сітці опиняє.
Fuck's sake, man, we're 1 goal down. Now we got to come from behind. Yeah, this is out of control, mate. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. If we can hit 7,000 likes on this episode of FTW, I'd really appreciate it. I never really asked for it, but let's keep the lights on, get me at FNG headquarters. For what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, Mr. Beast caught some heat this week, shall we say.
That was shit.
Trapping a contestant on a YouTube video in a burning house for a chance to win £500,000. This is the evil Mr. Beast character arc, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like and subscribe, guys, or I'll fill a small Estonian child's lungs with asbestos. He was having a difficult time trying to explain how he accidentally blew up an entire neighborhood for a YouTube video.
I think, from my point of view, I think it can be a little bit early, you know.
God's sake, can he not have hosted this in Marseille instead? Doing this sort of stuff for money, it's getting out of control, man. 500k. Ruben Amorim would do this for free. Please, Ruben, get out of the house. It's not that bad, we promise. Now, my computer screen commandos, online officers, set-piece soldiers. We're back to the shop, and what's that in the sweets aisle? Depression. Ah, hey, yo, surely that can't be for me. Fucking hell, we're running it back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, how abhorrently atrocious. With September coming to an end, Liverpool decided to mark that, going out with 2 separate terrorist incidents as they were first beaten by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. £500 million spent, and we've forgotten how to play football, lads. It's a crying shame. Going into this one, in fairness, both sides were the only unbeaten teams in the league. Crystal Palace, in particular, have been on a crazy run, including winning the FA Cup final against Man City and a community dishwasher utensil shield. So, when Ismail Assar re-ran PTSD of 2019 to create more anti-Scouts propaganda, it was 1-0 Eagles. And there was no Hugo Ekitike to save us, because he's scared of them. So instead, we had Alexander Isaac Newton up front, who was starting to understand the laws of relativity. Every action has an equal reaction. The action of him not being at full fitness yet, causing a reaction of my depression. To be fair, it's getting better, but still not up to full fitness. At the moment, it's looking like we spent 130 mil on Specs Gonzalez.
You think I'm paying all that money for you to do that?
He wasn't looking too convincing, trying to warm up before kickoff here. On a sot sauce patience already. He was asking for cash back at St James's Park reception.
Here's the money back now. Here's the money back. I want the money back.
Now, Jean-Philippe Mateta saw Manchester United's interest in him in the summer and decided to act like a Manchester United striker in this one. Otherwise, we could have been 3 or 4 down before half-time. With Florian Wirtz's departure, he locked in his 007, if you're not including the assist that he got in the Community Shield. Thankfully, though, Federico Chiesa would step up late on again, despite Mo Salah trying to pull off a hand of God. The Egyptian king could be seen going up the other end from kickoff, trying to make it 2-1. Now, this late goal had us Liverpool fans more bricked up than Paul Scholes on Philly's Snapchat stories. The issue here, though, was there was something in the room, and Virgil van Dijk was realising steadily he was in trouble now. It turns out Federico Chiesa had not celebrated, gone and grabbed the ball and taken it to the centre circle, only for Edward Nketiah to score late. This may be Nketiah's best goal for Arsenal in years. Gunner supporters seeing their former man drive a dagger into their title rivals' hearts. That's my son! The rest of the league saw a notification for a 97th minute winner before realising that it wasn't Liverpool that scored it. Crystal Palace turning into a completely different set of footballers when they have to play Liverpool. They go 18 games unbeaten, I believe now. It's genuinely incredible stuff. Palace's owner back in 2015 said he wanted to win the Prem within 10 years. This guy was cooking. And Eagles supporters wanted to make it even worse for Liverpool's players. One fan stopping in the middle of the road and holding up Liverpool's team bus to tie his laces in front of the driver. It's a shithousery award to South London. Look, listen, if we're going to lose a game though, at least we've lost to our actual title rivals. Now though, it was time for us to right the wrongs of the Premier League weekend with a return to form in Europe.
That is unbelievable. That is a bad one.
Sir, a second defeat has hit the FNG. Fucking hell, give me a chance. Oh, how rebunctiously repetitive. Collective amnesia would strike once again. What the fuck is that, bro? As Liverpool collectively forgetting how to play football and as a one-way ticket to defeat in Turkey. Not how you want to serve your Christmas dinner. Unless you're Paul Scholes. Galatasaray fans marked this occasion by letting off fireworks outside of Liverpool's hotel at 2 in the morning before kickoff. And honestly, we played like we were the ones setting them off. Other loud noises, though, were causing concern for one reporter in Turkey, caught off guard by the Champions League anthem playing loudly inside the ground. And we were set up for 90 minutes of pure Turkish atmosphere, except that's literally just whistling. Call for a Cab Simulator 2025 was well underway, Mo Salah even having to cover his ears from the sheer noise. Arne Slot will have wanted to cover his eyes, though, as Dominic Szoboszlai allegedly fouled a Galatasaray attacker for a penalty. This one was softer than a freshly moisturised buttock.
What is going on here?
Wirtz, though, had finally got an assist in this situation. Unfortunately, it was for the opposition, and Victor Osimhen tucked it away for the lead. At this point, stats-wise, we need a new level for Wirtz after 007. This man's ready to go Ben 10. We couldn't break down Ilkay Gundogan and Lucas Torreira after spending 4.8 quadrillion Zambian dollars. We couldn't go toe-to-toe with them. We could, though, as Galatasaray highlighted, go arse-to-arse with them. We had defender Ismail Jakobs slide cancelling during the match, but there was significantly worse defending going on from Ibrahima Konate. You've heard of no-nonsense centre-back? Meet yes-nonsense centre-back. Ibrahima did not want to get involved when he saw Victor Osimhen running towards him, and was left emotional realising it was his fault that his teammates were getting absolutely clamped as he was trying to open Duolingo at half-time. Duolingo responded saying he is in fact on the app. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. He's preparing as we speak for a move to Real Madrid in the summer.
Buenos noches, días. 7, 8, ¿dónde Esteban?
And his poor passing led to the annual Alisson is now injured for 7 to 8 weeks part of the season, this time out from backache for carrying us all campaign. He can at least be seen happy on the stretcher, realising he didn't have to play with Konate for another 2 months. And that led to us bringing a Harry Potter spell off the bench. Alexander Isak also came off the bench. Not that you'd notice, he was on the pitch for 30 minutes and only got 4 touches. He should have brought a ticket to this one, he was a member of the crowd. So we could give Darwin Núñez 8 chances a game, but we can't get the ball to Alexander Isak. Galatasaray then tweeted, "You'll never walk alone, but sometimes you'll walk away with 0 points. It's a shithousery award for the Turkish side, and I'm genuinely gonna jump off. The only miracle of Istanbul in this game was us being so fucking shit. We can't even get back at them for this Twitter grease they were dropping on the timeline, because that's it. This format, we don't play them again. All I'm saying is Arne Slot was trying to get himself a discount on a hair transplant by improving morale across Turkey single-handedly.
4D chess.
Look, listen, a lot of people are, flying out the trap saying that Liverpool are fucked. Jamie Carragher was even saying Florian Wirtz should be dropped. I might sound delusional here to people that aren't Liverpool fans. Florian Wirtz has not been that bad, guys, yeah? His job isn't... He should have got a goal or an assist by now, and he's been really frustrating in the final third. But other than that, he's actually been pretty good. He was class against Atletico Madrid. He's definitely got to step up, and Alexander Isak has definitely got to step up, but they're not already flops. Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain participated in a game of basketball in predictably the best game of the week, though elsewhere. A last-minute Gonçalo Ramos strike earning the Parisians the win. Beforehand, though, when Barca had taken the lead, Marcus Rashford getting an assist after a really well-worked goal on a plate for Ferran Torres. That means in 6 of his last 7 games, he's got goal contributions. He's going to go to the World Cup of 2026 firing. Just like the crowd will be. Marcus has seen the comeback Ballon d'Or after the Ousmane Dembele story written in the stars.
Put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable. Play outside
that's my favourite saying.
PSG's injury list, though, right now is absolutely nuts. The Club World Cup having an impact, I see. They were recruiting 12-year-olds under the Arc de Triomphe for this one, and those PSG youth players were gassed when they saw their former teammate Lenny Mayulu score the equalising goal. Nuno Mendes went absolutely crazy in this game. He put Lamine Yamal in a split. The Spaniards' highlights alongside Jules Koundé, not that favourable. Now, though, time for a brand new segment, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading over to Kazakhstan. If you don't know already the storyline behind Kairat FC, it's quite incredible. They're a team from Kazakhstan who somehow managed to qualify for the Champions League. They did an amazing job. Massive underdogs, completely unseeded in the first round, made even more crazy by the fact these guys are right next to China. They're so far away from Central Europe, it's a joke. There is not a single inch of Afghanistan that is further away from Central Europe than this football club. Teams face an 11 or 12-hour flight, maybe even an 87-hour drive to get there, and their stadium is called Central Stadium. Bro, that's a default one in FIFA. Now, Real Madrid were making the journey over for Champions League Game Week 2. This was going to be, of course, a momentous occasion for these Kazakhstani players. Jorginho, who was playing up front, had a unique request from Real.
I don't know. My priority will be Xabi Alonso's shoes, but if I can't get them, I will ask Valverde.
He could be seen smelling every player's boots at full time. Wow, what the hell? The actual all-round squad worth here is 13 million. That is less than half of Kylian Mbappe's annual wage. So it's even more crazy when they almost scored just 9 seconds in. Thibaut Courtois holding balls inside 9 seconds is usually reserved for Kevin De Bruyne's misses, but in this case, Kairat were going all out. In the end, they were defeated. Real Madrid trying to score FIFA Street goals during this game, but in the end had to settle for Kylian Mbappe penalties once more. He's had a crazy goal-scoring start to the season. He cannot be stopped, except for maybe an ad board behind him. Jose Mourinho would be returning to Chelsea as Benfica manager in the Champions League, and was even videoed with an old staff member that he used to work with all those years ago. He was given biscuits after a press conference by a guy who was at the club for 56 years and retired back in 2024, and could be seen blowing kisses to Blues fans. Imagine though, a 90th minute winner for Benfica, and he runs all the way down the touchline. Alas, no. Chelsea were the victors here thanks to a Benfica own goal. Cole Palmer before kick-off could be seen at Chelsea's youth game against Benfica's under-19s, probably scouting for centre-backs for the first team given they've completely run out of them. But once more, the Blues were dealt a red card in this one. I'm convinced they're going on strike from Enzo Maresca at this point, because they've received more cards than a group of sextuplets' birthdays. Chelsea players, they know what they're doing as soon as they've got their 10,000 steps in. Tottenham made an absolute hash of playing against Bodo and also Glimt this week in Norway. Jens Petter Hauge scoring a brace of absolutely class goals, but alas, Tottenham did save themselves late on with a draw. A great effort though from the AstroTurf Association. This is the first Champions League game to ever take place inside the Arctic Circle. Bodo Glimt though just a little bit confused trying to sing the Champions League anthem for the first time. Back in North London in the Premier League, and something dark was happening. The arts. Nicholas Jova had been waiting in the shadows, looking at corners across the country, and now it was time for him to return. When football needed him the least, he was back, as Corner FC won in dramatic late fashion versus Newcastle. Now, there was controversy from early doors here. Victor Gyökeres played in behind, seeming to go around Nick Pope before being taken down and earning a penalty, only for VAR to intervene and overturn the on-field decision. Now, this seemed harsh because it looked like Nick Pope, for all intents and purposes, had brought Gyökeres down, only to have got a slight touch on the ball. Either way, was it really a clear and obvious error? Referees across the country could be seen celebrating as soon as they had a chance to chalk off an Arsenal goal. Of course, naturally, after this decision, Newcastle took the lead before Gabriel decided to uppercut Voltemada on the restart. This is something that Newcastle players have been doing to everybody else since the dawn of time. To be fair, it should have been looked at. It is arguably a red, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a chance that it is. Either way, Gabriel just wanted a handshake after. Tensions were rising, and Oliver Declan Rice wanted to calm down the situation.
Do you want me to rap anyone? Lift the mood a bit.
Arsenal would go on to get the equaliser before the realisation of the most important events in history. Fire, the invention of the wheel, and Gabriel's dad getting horny one night in 1996. Because despite getting his goalie gloves out in the penalty area, he would score the winner in injury time. Arsenal actually for once weren't doing haram ball in this one. They actually had 2.31 XG, and Mikel Arteta could be seen leaving with 0.31 XG saved and in the bank at full time. Off the pitch though, Mikel Arteta's been using more unusual tactics to get the most out of his Gunners side, as Mikel Arteta apparently planned to invite a team of RAF fighters to Arsenal to improve how he speaks to his players. I don't know why he's doing that, bro. They're gonna have him arrested on terrorist charges. A military regime to try and win trophies is absolutely mad. Do we really have to use walkie-talkie? Shh, man, this is really important. Okay, fine. Where am I gonna put the ball? Over. Well, no, I want you to put the ball in the goal, not over. Over. And to be fair, Gabriel took inspiration, taking flight in training over William Saliba. Put Mikel Merino in one of those planes, and I'm telling you now, yeah, it's not going to be a sight that you want to see. Now, though, for Manchester United, and we're back to pain.
Hi again, it's me.
In the least shocking news of this calendar year so far, Manchester United lost, this time 3-1 to Brentford. I honestly dislocated my elbow trying to search to watch for the highlights again here. Highlights that saw Bruno Fernandes miss a second penalty in a row, as he turned, looked at the touchline and saw Ruben Amorim there before missing on purpose. United fans at least got some respite in this one at half-time when they didn't have to watch their football club for 15 whole minutes, and once again they were a complete mess. Harry Maguire had seen enough chucking by India out of his goal. Honestly, there's a better chance of them keeping a clean sheet if that's the case. I spoke about the game in a bit more detail and Ruben Amorim in this video here, but his record now in his first 33 is absolutely shambolic. This man has recorded more defeats than Steve Keane for Venky's Blackburn. Apparently, Gareth Southgate could be on the way in if Amorim does lose his job. This man hasn't done a week's work since 2009. National team managers go into a club team. I don't like it. He's going to be left shocked when he realises there's no quarterfinals after the third game week. Meanwhile, at Chelsea versus Brighton, and the Blues got dashed about by their feeder club again. Are we the B team? There's no returns policy for Robert Sanchez, I'm afraid to say, Chelsea fans. The Blues spun a random wheel and decided Trevor Chalobah was going to be the man getting sent off this time. They need to actually start training with 10 men at this point. Right, listen, yeah, nothing silly, okay? I just want to get to the end of the first... Danny Welbeck scored in this one, making it 17 different Premier League seasons he's grabbed a goal in, only to celebrate by taking his shirt off and then patting the referee's bald head. That's got to be another yellow card offence, surely. At the Hammers, they may have brought in Nuno Espirito Santo, but they're still not winning. Graham Potter was asked about the viral face swaps that have been going around on Twitter, to which he confirmed that he has actually seen them, only to be sacked between the presser and the actual game. They just genuinely wanted to ask him about the face swap. He could be seen departing Stratford Tube Station one last time. Meanwhile, the man that's replaced Nuno at Forest, Ange Postecoglou, is having a shambolic time. No wins in 5. This is the new manager bounce these lot are getting, and he might be the first boss to go 007. Man City faced off against Burnley and dispatched them pretty easily, with Maxime Esteve scoring 2 own goals in the same game.
Stinker of a film. Stinker.
Listen up. We've had a stinker.
He could be seen listening to Scott Parker's 3-hour match analysis and research before kickoff, only to slap 2 in his own net. On the theme of Manchester City, in the Champions League, they drew 2-2 against Monaco thanks to a last-minute Eric Dyer penalty. Why is Eric Dyer even taking pens? They've drawn to Charles Leclerc, for fuck's sake.
I am stupid.
Napoli, meanwhile, faced off against Portuguese side Sporting, and Kevin De Bruyne has done an absolute madness for them. That madness, getting Rasmus Højlund to score. Twice. He celebrated by pointing to his Champions League badge, and you can't tell me that's not a diss at Manchester United. There were foot mob notifications for him and Marcus Rashford both scoring. Bro, this is starting to get quizzical now, you know. Rasmus Højlund's got good now. He even cleared up the acne. Bro left United and there was immediate exfoliation. Meanwhile, Azerbaijani side Karabag won their first ever Champions League game in match week 1, and they backed it up by winning their second ever Champions League match the next time around too. They're going 6 for 6 after beating Copenhagen with a manager in Gerben Gerbenov, great name, who's been in charge since 2008. Now that's stability. Over in Spain now, and Atletico Madrid absolutely pummeled Real in a Madrid derby that ended 5-2 to Diego Simeone's men. Florentino Perez could be seen on his phone in the stands trying to download another 4 La Liga goals. 2 ref, please let us score. Xabi Alonso fell to his knees down on the touchline. Atleti looked good, and Julian Alvarez is absolutely balling out for them right now. It left Eduardo Camavinga wondering where it all went wrong, and Real Madrid to bring on Eminem and Snoop Dogg due to dwindling numbers.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the dump.
There wasn't such difficulty for Barcelona, as Lamine Yamal came on in the 58th minute and grabbed an assist for Robert Lewandowski just 1 minute later. Essential day at the office for Barca supporters. Meanwhile, Marcus Rashford's getting pretty horny as well.
Barca
Femení player Aitana Bonmati could be pictured here with her 3 Ballon d'Ors, and this is just here because it's such a cold picture. Meanwhile, a sweet message coming from Joan Laporta, Barcelona president. A message to Alexis Sanchez, a man who, of course, was so good for Barcelona. He recently signed for Sevilla, and Joan sent him a personalised little message to welcome him back to Spanish football. The wholesome scenes continued over at Real Betis, meanwhile, as they brought out a new set of mascots who are very, very old. Yeah, their oldest ticket holders were the mascots for their most recent La Liga match. A really nice touch. Meanwhile, Real Oviedo's incredible storyline is continuing. They spent 24 years outside of the top flight, going even as far down as the 4th tier. Fast forward to 2025, they're in La Liga and grabbed 2 goals in 2 minutes in a comeback to beat Valencia 2-1. Now, in Italy, AC Milan beat Napoli in a dramatic game in Serie A to go top of the league. And this was a game that saw 2 fine wines going up against each other. Luka Modric and Kevin De Bruyne are both balling out, though Kevin was absolutely fuming when he was substituted off, probably because he'd been left out in the sun too long and he should have come off half an hour before. With all that talent on the pitch, though, it was still the LeBron James of soccer. This is what he does! That was the difference maker here for Milan. He probably had a free rein down the right-hand side because Napoli's entire squad were too focused on Rafael Leao. The Portuguese winger enduring a 7v1 situation here that was truly getting ridiculous by the second half. In more AC Milan news, though, and themselves and Inter have bought the San Siro just to knock it down. I'm so glad I'm not a businessman because, bro, I don't even understand who did it belong to before. Either way, it's going to be replaced by, I presume, some ultra-modern toilet seat looking at shopping mall Walmart dome. And one kid that'll probably be playing in it will be Francesco Camada, who scored his first Serie A goal this week whilst out on loan. 6 years ago, he double-texted his icon and his hero, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This week, Zlatan told us we all know his name now. You've aired him twice 6 years ago. Don't try and gas it up now. I just know tensions were high when Francesco saw Zlatan in the canteen after being ignored for 6 whole years. His bedroom is looking a lot different now. He's had to tear down them posters. Recently, I told you the story of Lamberto Boranja, a 82-year-old goalkeeper who's making a comeback in Italian football. Back in the 70s, he played in Serie A and in Serie B as well. Now he's making a return in the 7th tier of Italian football. He made that debut in a heavy defeat. But to be fair to him, the guy's got arthritis, so there's not really much. Meanwhile, Inter, and we saw two brothers playing against each other, Pio and Sebastiano Esposito. Sebastiano used to play for Inter, unsurprisingly, and Denzel Dumfries welcomed him back jokingly. At PSG, and Ousmane Dembele was showing off his Ballon d'Or in front of the Parc des Princes, only for Luis Enrique to nab it off him. Meanwhile, Breel Mbolo had to explain to his wife the adventures that he gets up to with teammate Mika Biereth. Mika, the former Arsenal striker, can't drive, apparently, so he had a special request for Breel, and that was that the Swiss international picks him up and they go scooter shopping together. Meanwhile, in Germany, the chaos continues. Borussia Mönchengladbach and Frankfurt playing out a 10-goal thriller that ended 6-4 to the away side. No defense in it, it's just vibes. Attack and inshallah. Meanwhile, Johan Bakayoko had the honor of scoring RB Leipzig's 600th goal in their club's history, which really probably sums up how recently that club was formed. At least he got a cake out of it. That's my guy. Now that it's time for your goals of the week, and we've got a couple absolute bangers here. First of all, coming from a player that I had no idea was even still playing football. That's Andros Townsend, who of course has played in the Premier League for a long time. He's now embarking on different adventures in the Thai Premier League. And having only just signed for his club, he cut in from the right-hand side and blasted a left-footed strike right into the top corner. The keeper had absolutely no chance. But at the other end of the age scale, now we head over to Aston Villa's under-18 side, where Fletcher Boyd has picked up the ball on the halfway line and has drilled it over the goalkeeper. Any less on this and the keeper saves it, any more and it's going over the bar. The perfect strike. Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, in Turkey, there were unprecedented scenes going on at Sakaryaspor, where Caner Erkin, he got irked, but by one of his teammates. They got into a little bit of a scrap, and he decided to slap his teammate, only for the referee and Lino to see it go to VAR, and for him to get sent off. He couldn't quite believe it, but mate, even if you're violent to your teammate, it's still violence. In Mexico, and it's love, not war in the stands there, as one man has waited till the cameras are on him around the entire ground to propose to his girlfriend. Thankfully, she said yes, otherwise it could have been a very awkward experience. Darling, will you marry me? Yes, you know what? They're going forward, actually. Counter-attack. We better lock back in. The introduction of RefCam has divided opinion. Some say that the game is gone, but others are using it for meme purposes. This man begging not to get a card. Yeah, this is Hall of Fame stuff, I'll be honest.
Black British music.
Yeah, man, weather's back. If you're a Rangers fan at Livingston right now, expect some showers from the sprinklers. Yeah, it's not coming from the sky, it's coming from the ground. In Saudi Arabia, and Laurent Blanc can consider himself hard done by. He won the double last season with Al Ittihad, and he started the season pretty well this campaign too. 3 wins from his first 4 league games. However, he's just been sacked. His crime? Getting beaten by Al Nassr. Literally, that's the only reason. Fam, the same people own both clubs, just allow it. In European football now, in the Europa League, and there were crazy, ridiculous scenes between Lille and Roma. Roma were awarded a penalty. It would be Ukrainian striker Dovbyk who would step up and take it, only for Lille goalkeeper Berkot Ozer to make a save. This, though, was cancelled out. It went to VAR, and apparently it had to be retaken due to encroachment. That would mean Dovbyk would step up once again, and in an absolute carbon copy, Ozer managed to make the stop. But once again, the referee's attention was drawn to the fact that encroachment had taken place, and so for a 3rd time this penalty would have to be taken. Now Dovbyk, his mind was gone, so Roma decided to change penalty taker to Matthias Süle, and incredibly, Berkot Ozer would make a save, this time to the opposite side, for 3 penalty saves in a row. Meanwhile, there's one of the most criminal pieces of activity I've ever seen at Celtic. They were playing against Braga in the Europa League when a defensive mistake saw Kelechi Iheanacho played through on goal. He slotted home to make it 1-1, only for the goal to go to VAR and be ruled out for a handball, even though it hit his head and not his hand. Stevie Wonder, get out of the booth. There was a floodlight malfunction over in Azerbaijan, which didn't particularly help with one team trying to get on the attack. In South Korea now, in a relegation 6-pointer, Jeju lost their heads. They lost the match 4-3 and lost 3 men due to red cards as well. That's just violence. We've got to arrest somebody for that. How are you getting 3 red cards in a game of that importance? Speaking of FIFA, they've sanctioned South Africa for fielding an ineligible player in World Cup qualifying. South Africa were well clear at the top of their group, but this 3-0 defeat defeat they've been handed against Lesotho for playing Teboho Mokoena means they're now down to second. On the theme of Africa, and Emmanuel Emenike is making news after he left Miss Nigeria 2017 to marry Miss Nigeria 2018. Bro's upgrading like these girls are iPhones. That's actually outrageous. Miss Nigeria 2019 knows that she's in next. Over in Pakistan, and Saddam Hussein just got a call up to the national team.
Can't believe it. Someone said you was dead.
And they've also selected a player who doesn't have a club right now and hasn't been called up or played competitively for 4 years. Talk about a lack of match sharpness. There was a lack of sharpness for USA's under-20s goalkeeper when they faced off against New Caledonia of Oceania, giving the ball away inside his own area for a historic New Caledonian goal. They lost the game 9-1, but to score as such a tiny island against the US is very impressive. Closer to home, and somebody selling a signed pair of John Terry hair clippers. I think I've seen it all now. Chesterfield are spreading love only over on Twitter, meanwhile. And at Kidderminster's youth side, with 96 minutes on the clock, the goalkeeper has picked up the ball in his own half and launched it long. He couldn't have expected how long he'd launch it, though. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And Sunday League football is for everybody. Players of all shapes and sizes, of all ages and backgrounds, are welcome and ready to get involved. And that also applies for referees, as an 87-year-old referee here is continuing his career, having debuted as a referee all the way back in 1973. Things that you can only see on a random pitch somewhere in Leeds. On to the weird stuff though now. There was a massive shock in the Ukrainian Cup, where 5th-tier side Arteta managed to reach the last 16 of the cup competition. They did this by beating a side in the top division and also in the second division as well, and are currently having to get changed in a school because their usual field is being used for a watermelon harvest. In the 6th tier, you'll find LKS's reserve team in Poland, and maybe they're trying out some tactics that their first team can use in the future, because they've decided, with actual decent success, that they are randomly going to start bringing their goalkeepers forward for corners. Here is their shot stopper forward for a corner in just the 10th minute of the game. Of course, usually reserved for needing a goal in like the 100th minute of the game. These lot are mixing things up. I want to see this in the Prem so badly. Imagine a Nana in the penalty area 7 minutes into the match. But finally, we head over to Uzbekistan, where defender Dilshod Komilov has got himself into hot water. He's had his contract terminated by Uzbek Super League club Kizilkum. Now, the reason for this is something I've never heard of before, and Kebarita Balaga, you might want to check your mirrors on this one. He refused to be substituted in a league match. The manager wanted to bring him off in the 57th minute. He said no. The game carried on. The manager then tried to do it again in the 60th minute, and Dilshod here refused once more. After being pleaded with by coaches to just literally get off the field and sit on the bench, he made it all the way to the end of the match, only to have his contract terminated. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.